All right, so here it is. Since we're saying the cause of all problems start at birth, this is what we are presuming to be true. Now, the whole purpose of what we're standing in our position as a FasterEFTer, we operate from absolutes. What we know is absolutely 100% positively true. All right? So I know why Kim has a problem. Kim has a problem because she's doing something right based on what she's held within her, and this is a success. So she's not screwed up, she's not broken. So I believe what happened before you got here, before I was born, before you were born, I believe that the stage was set. Now this means before you got here, obviously you had a mother and you had someone who donated a sperm. All right, it could be from a love husband, it could be from a rape, it could be from a boyfriend who didn't like you and dumped you. It could be that you are the 12th child and she's worn out. The stage was set before you got here. Like, I am a product, I am what you would call a bastard child. I don't know who my father is. My mother at 14 ran away, got pregnant, came home, gave birth to me. My father came into my life when I was about 6 months old. All right? Now, how I would be treated in that environment will be different than someone else. The stage was set before I got here. If you were born in a different country, say it's a country where there's war and there's famine and there's fear of whatever, or there's whatever the stage is before you get here, that stage will impact how they look at you, how they treat you, how they interact with you. Would you agree with this? So if your mother was raped on a snowbank and you're the product of it, will it be a different stage than if you're a love child between two people who've been in love forever? Totally different stages, isn't it? All right? So the stage was set before you got here. You would agree with that. And the second part that we believe is true, they, whoever they are, they had skills. All right? They had emotional coping skills. They had talents with money or not with money. They have value skills. That means if they think they're a worthless piece of crud, they think no one loves them, or they think they're all alone, or they're jealous, these skills they have before you got there. If you were dumped out of an orphanage, those people who ran the orphanage will have their emotional coping skills. They have beliefs and attitudes, and whatever they believe, guess who they will impact? You. Would you agree with that? All right. Now, we understand that this is really the cause of why we have problems. It's how we came into the world and how we hold and internalize the world. So that would be another yes. Isn't that right? And then the next part is you were born. And I believe everyone in this room had been born at one time, right? Is that true? No? You don't have proof of it, do you? All right, you were born. So obviously, every one of these would so far be a yes. Can you agree with this 100%? Can you take this to China? Would they believe that? Okay, good. Well, we're on the good page. All right, and the next part is, since you were born, they, whoever they are, they impacted you. They affected you. Is that right? So if, say for example, they was a mother had a sister, and she always felt like dad and mom loved her sister more than she did. They loved her. Right? Jealousy, insecurity, didn't feel like she was worthy of love. Mom was jealous and interacted with her, and all of a sudden she's now married to a wonderful man who really loves her, and in comes you, the little girl. All of a sudden, guess what she's going to use? Her emotional coping skills, and then she'll start to interact with this little girl, which is her baby. You think it would be normal not to treat the child this way. Or the mother who's raped on a snowbank, this is her baby. But every time she looks at this baby, there's another part of her that says he looks just like the man. Even though consciously you would never want to hurt a baby, but her own anger, her own hurt, her own guilt, her own shame still comes out and still affects this little you. Would that be true? Right? If you had a brother, your brother, he was the older, he's 5 years older, and he was very extremely jealous of you, would that jealousy impact this little girl? And always picking on you, beating you up, saying mean things, pulling your hair, whatever he did. They impact you. And of course, all this stuff goes where? Inside. You would all agree with that, wouldn't you? So that's another 4 would be a yes. And then, from all these experiences, every one of these experiences from the beginning of time, we create an identity. An identity of who you are. Now, how many of you are parents, right? You're a mother, right? Anybody are counselors, right? Any of you drivers? You're a car driver, right? Who are you really? Maria, if you would say who you are, who are you? Say, I am what? Make it up. I'm a friend. Who are you? What kind of work you do?
I'm a hairstylist.
A what?
Hairstylist.
Hairstylist. All right. Now, you know why she's a hairstylist? Because she experienced hairstyling experiences. And all of a sudden, she says, I am a hairstylist. Right? Now, this is how we do. We create our identity based on all these experiences that we have from them. And so all of a sudden, then you think you have a problem. I'm abandoned, I'm rejected, I'm alone, I'll never amount to anything, or I'm a brilliant, I'm whatever you say you are, based on your experience. So here we are, we start creating our identity. Would that be a yes on that as well? Of course, because you are who you are by what you experience, and you create an identity from your experiences. Now, for example, she may be a hairstylist, but she took other skills, and let's say, for example, anybody in this room are hula dancers. You know what a hula dancer is? Anybody in here a hula dancer? Hawaiian hula dancer? Anybody? Anybody who knows how to do that? Nobody? So you wouldn't say, I'm a hula dancer then? Nobody. And you know why you would say you're not a hula dancer? Because you have no experiences. You didn't come from a hula dancing family. You didn't take lessons, and you didn't go to school. Did you? But if you experience all the right things, guess what you'd say? I am a hula dancer. So we start creating our identity from where we come from. And you know what the biggest problem is when I'm working with somebody and I get rid of a horrible memory, a traumatic sexual trauma, physical abuse? You know what they say in the middle of it? Well, wait, hold on. Who will I be? Because we think we are our stuff, and you're not. Does that make sense? So then, at some point, here we are. We say we are our stuff. And by the way, you're not your past. You're only how you hold and represent your past, which the nice thing is now we can change that. And then, from this identity, 6, I'm missing one. Got self-identity, and with this identity, we begin to operate. And then the next thing is, we take this identity, and then we start to operate within the world. So here it is. You create this model of the world. You create this identity, this whole essence of yourself. You see the world in a certain way. If you're good at panic attacks, guess where you go always looking for? You go looking for your panic attacks. If you're angry, you always find angry people. If you have a controlling, bossy mother, you always find jobs that have controlling, bossy teachers or parents or boyfriends or whatever. Because you take this world, we operate within the world, and you look for people to play with you. Because this is how you see the world. And at some point in your life, you get to the point and say, God, I have got problems. Why? Why am I so screwed up? Right? And it's almost like, it's the strangest thing, and some of you even heard me say it today. They talk about this problem and all this stuff, and then they wonder why. I was working with a lady, she goes, I just don't understand. I'm married to a husband who's so mean and angry. Always angry, angry, angry. And I don't understand where it came from. I have no idea. My parents aren't that way. I don't know what it is. And by the way, we talked about some issues, and she was telling me as a small girl, we addressed this. When she was a small little girl, her and her brother, they had a gardener that worked for them. And they had a little game that they would play with the gardener. It seemed like he was always on drugs or something. They would do things that make him mad and take off running and think it was a game. And then, of course, her brother was a bit angry. And then I started pointing these out. I said, oh, my God, that's a bad game I've been playing. Because, see, she knew how to play with anger. And so here it is. We operate within the world and we find people to play with us because we're staying in alignment with what we hold. Now, she would have never thought that was a good game. It was a fun game when she was a little girl. You know, they'd throw things, make fun of him, take off running. And then, he's yelling and screaming and whatever. But she always knew that she could get away. But now she says she's in a relationship and she can't get away. She's trapped. She's got 2 children. And the game isn't fun anymore. You see it? She didn't realize it. So I just look at it. I realize that all problems are internally created and generated. And the weird thing is, you may even forget what they were. You may even forget your memories as a child. You may not even remember them, but they still show up. Again, memories buried alive never die. They just show up in another pair of shoes. Right? And then we get to some point, the big why. Why? Why do I have problems? Okay, so let's go back here. Is this true? You think this is true? Stage reset. 100% true? They had skills, whoever raised you, interacted with you. That'd be true. You had been born at one time. Somebody asked me, goes, well, Robert, what if you're a walk-in? Walk-in, what does that mean? Well, you're walking down the street and all of a sudden a new entity comes in your body and now you're a new person. No, it's true for those who believe. And I said you still have references. It really doesn't happen that way, but they could have some spiritual experience on the road of Damascus. Who knows? All right. So then you're born, and then they impacted you. They affected you. And by the way, however they treat you, whatever they do to you, you know what they're trying to do? They're trying to teach you how to be just like them. Your father was doing what he did to you. Your mother did to you what she knew how to do based on her own pains and hurts. Do you realize that? Where was this stuff coming from? It was coming from the inner self that she held. And guess what she held or he held was based on the imprinted experiences they still hold to be true within self. That's why we always go to memories and reimprint. All right? So that would be a yes. And then, of course, you understand your identity is based on what you hold and believe about yourself from what you hold within you. That's all memories, all characters. And then we begin to operate within the world and we find people who will play with us from the pattern and belief and model of the world that we have created for ourselves from our experiences.
I was just thinking when you said that they're trying to teach you how to be like them. I think in so many cases they are not even aware of it.
No.
And they try to teach you one thing, but they actually are teaching you another thing at the same time by their actions.
Yeah.
So you get a contradiction in what you're getting taught.
Very good.
So it doesn't really seem that simple.
Yeah. Because, here we do have this weird duality that's going on. You say you want a better life. You say you want to lose weight, but you don't want to quit eating. You say you want a better life, but you don't want to move and get rid of any of the bad memories. You say you want a better life, but you won't let it go. And it's a weird dichotomy that we have. Because that's you. That's who you think you are. Does that make sense? All right, so then we get to the big why. Why? That's a big question, isn't it? Yeah. All right? All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to cover some more material. What I'm going to do is, there's a lot of stuff I want to cover. The whole purpose of level 1 is, first of all, give you the belief system, give you the structure of how and why we have problems, the outline of the protocol in which we follow. Then level 2, we're going to give you some really cool, powerful programs to flip memories, but only a few. And then level 2, we're going to go into a lot of different ways to rewrite memories and different ways to go in and make the shifts and changes. So that's what we're going to do. So you're going to have to hold on to your seats, write really fast, pay close attention, and if you don't get it the first time, you can always come back again. By the way, the nice thing about being in this seminar here is, first of all, it's training level 1 and 2. That means when you take training level 1 again and 2, it'll be cheaper. And those of you who have already been here, you've already started to discover it's growing, isn't it? It's changing. You're getting more. So the deal is getting this stuff in your head and actually applying it. Again, you can take the skills that FasterEFT teaches, and you can still use the old belief system. The tools itself works wonderfully. The techniques are very effective. But to go that extra piece, you know, the difference between, you have two athletes. Both of them are just as skillful as the other, but the other one has a different attitude about it. That attitude makes the difference. It's something you can't really see, but it's something that makes the next mile better. And that's what we're after. And that's the toughest part, is to change what you believe to be true. And that's what the whole purpose is to change your belief and attitude of why we have problems, and have the attitude and understanding of where we're coming from. It's going to be a lot easier. And again, that's really tough. So I started out with EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. EFT is an amazing process. It is the best thing I've ever found until that point. Now, what I did with EFT is I added NLP with it, and I added a lot of other things. And so here it is. I'm using EFT, and those of you who do not know what EFT is, Emotional Freedom Technique, created by Gary Craig. Now, Gary Craig took the course from Callahan, who taught TFT, or at that time, Callahan Techniques, thought field therapy. Callahan created his process. I don't know exactly everything that he was doing at the time, but he had this lady, her name was Mary. Mary had a fear of water. Of course, Mary said, I was born with this fear. I have no idea where it came from. All I know is I have this fear. She can't take a shower with that much, or a bath with that much water, watching water on TV, washing the dishes, anything about water, high emotional anxiety, a big fear. And so Callahan was working with her, and he said, well, Mary, I want you to come to my house. I have a pool. And of course, you imagine here you got this horrible fear, and your therapist says, come to my house, I got a pool. It's like somebody says, I fear of spiders, and come to my house, I have a gigantic spiders everywhere. I breed and train spiders to do whatever. So again, here you are, you're going to this horrible place. I'm sure she had anxiety. And so what he would do to Mary is he would drag her to the pool, have her sit by the pool, big emotions, big anxiety, I'm sure. But one day, away from the pool, talking to him about the water fear, she says, I feel it in my stomach. So Callahan had her tap underneath the eyes, which is the stomach meridian. And so she tapped there for minutes, I don't know how long. All of a sudden, the feeling in her body changed, and so did her fear of water. And she said, well, the fear's gone. So jokingly, he said, let's go to the pool. She gets up, takes off, run towards the pool. And here it is. He remembers trying to drag her to the water, and he's probably seeing her floating dead in the pool. He starts screaming, stop, stop. And she stopped and turned. She said, I know I can't swim. I'm not stupid. And so here's something interesting about fears. If you get rid of the fear, it gets rid of the stupidity as well. So this is how he discovered, by tapping on the meridian system, it could create a physical shift and a mental shift as well. So Callahan created different protocols and or algorithms to get rid of certain things. Like you could tap here, 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 and maybe here to get rid of anxiety or something. So he had all these different protocols for different things, and it could work, and it did work. And sometimes it didn't. I've worked with people who did work and didn't work with. So again, it has a lot to do with what we're learning here today is the structure. Bad, good, collapse, and a lot of this other stuff. So Gary Craig took the course with Callahan. It's a $10,000 3-day course, and he goes back and he starts using this. And he called him up and said, Callahan, I'm not a psychologist. Should I be using this? And he said, it's good that you haven't been exposed to psychotherapy. You don't have to unlearn anything. And that's the whole point that I want to make. Because, see, those who started with FasterEFT, it's a lot easier for you. Those who started with EFT, it's a little bit more difficult because we have to change what you've been programmed to believe to be true. So here it is. Gary Craig said, well, Callahan, there's 144,000 different ways to tap your style. Why don't we tap on all of them? And so then Gary Craig ended up creating EFT and tapping on all the 14 meridians. So I bought the course. Now, Callahan created this by accident, and at the time, apparently, he was studying Chinese acupressure or acupuncture. And see, the acupressurist people, they believe that when you stick the needles in, because they believe inside the organ somewhere, it's blocked. It's a blocked meridian, so they stick the needle in so it'll unblock it. Well, so then Callahan, he came up with this concept that sometimes, he'd use his tapping algorithm, whichever one it was, and it wouldn't go away. And so he believed that the reason why it's working is you're unblocking something. And so he came up with a concept called psychological reversal. Now, he created this concept called psychological reversal, and what I'll do is I can read it. It says, where's the book? Here's her book. Okay, psychological reversal. Now, since Callahan is the creator of psychological reversal, he created it. We're going to go with what he has taught, and I'll explain to you why psychological reversal, the definitions are trying to change it, because they're not actually addressing what the real deal is. Psychological reversal concept was created by Callahan in 1979, which he boasts is his most important discovery, I will say creation. Psychological reversal creates a polarity block in the body's energy system, preventing an otherwise effective treatment from working. Psychological reversal is also known as an energy toxin. According to Callahan, individual energy toxins is a toxin that affects the autonomic nervous system, causing a literal reversal of the energy flow, which in turn can induce a way a person feels and behaves. They become negative or self-absorbed, hyperactive, or fatigued, and generally lose positive willpower. This self-absorbed reversal can have an adverse effect on any form of treatment and can be undone by the ingestion or inhaling toxic substances. People suffering from complex problems like depression, OCDs, and those who stop smoking for a while, start again, and those who are constantly losing weight and putting it back on are usually affected by a toxin. All right. So FasterEFT does not believe in this. It does not believe in psychological reversal. Now here's the point that I want to make. Where are they focusing at? Outside, and also something is also spinning backwards. The energy is actually reversing the flow. Now, those of you who know a little bit about biology, and that we do have an energetic system inside our body. Our brain sends electrical impulses, it converts food and turns it into energy, okay? All right, but what they're saying here is that, say for example, you have started smoking, okay? And you're using a treatment, and they say you could be polarity reversed. That means your energy is going backwards, and to straighten it up, they will use an algorithm to get rid of the reversal. They could use, so how do they do this? They do like this, and they try to get the energy to reverse. And so the problem is that it really is an energy reverse. And if you were to actually, your energy was to be reversed in your entire system, you'd probably explode. So just be aware of that. Good thing you can't. But there is a reversal that is called psychological reversal that isn't energy. And that is, and what I teach, is that we have primary imprints. These primary imprints are memories and experiences that keep us in alignment with what we hold. So when you're addressing, for example, weight loss, and since those of you who know my weight loss system, it's not about the food. It's about emotional conditioning. Eat, clean your plate. Mama loves you. Every time you go see grandma, what does she do when she sees you? She feeds you. Weight is a protective mechanism. If you love food and you don't want to get rid of the love of food, you're always going to have a weight problem or a combat or battle with weight. So there's a lot of different emotional programs. Weight is not the problem. It's an expression of many imprinted beliefs and attitudes. Hey, sweetie. So here it is. You may be working globally, like with a technique, and you can say, I want to lose weight, and address, and all of a sudden your mind says, okay, it's okay to lose weight. But when you go back into the battlefield, when you go back with your friends, when you go back eating food, the sacredness of that food, you're going to say, you're going to eat this food, you have to do it. So that's not going to solve that problem. So what we're addressing with psychological reversal from the FasterEFT point is, these are emotional imprints, and by the way, psychological reversal is also like the saboteur within, it's also like the ego, it's all that stuff. I'll get you in a second. Well, all right, hold on. I know, but you have to understand that when people come to EFT, there's a lot that they don't understand because they don't know.
I was just pointing out that it isn't just FasterEFT that uses the psychological reversal and secondary gain. In standard EFT, there is an explanation of the setup phrase that is not just about the energetic polarity reversal,
Right.
it is to combat the possibility in some people of secondary gain and of holding on to
That is
stuff.
definitely true. And that's, but see, this is what I'm going to share with you guys. And that's what I said at the beginning, is that the original psychological reversal created by Callahan, this is his. This is what he's teaching. Now, EFT has taken it in, and they're trying to also bring in the understanding of secondary gain. First of all, secondary gain is primary imprints. It's doing a possible, that's what it is. The problem is I have people who come to FasterEFT, and they talk about my energy is spinning backwards. They talk about that I have psychological reversal. I say, you do not have psychological reversal. You have imprinted experiences that are unresolved yet, hadn't been changed. So what we're doing is, this is, again, Callahan is the one who created it, and then others have been trying to change the meaning. But what we're doing is we're giving the meaning that there is no psychological reversal, not in FasterEFT, but there is what we would call secondary gain. We don't use psychological reversal. But we do know how to go into the structure and change the structure. So that's why we don't use, because again, when you go psychological reversal, there's different definitions of it. And they're also trying to change the definition because Callahan is the one who created the definition. So secondary gains, yes. Primary imprints, definitely. In order to change a problem, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you the formula to change any problem no matter who comes to see you. And it's called the art of change, which we'll get into that. So we use the art of change to change any problem no matter what the problem is. The reason that we're pushing psychological reversal out of the window is because it's not a good belief system. Secondary gains, yes, we can accept that. But then again, what we want to do is understand the structure and how we create our problems. That's it. Does that make sense? But that's the reason why I'm bringing in psychological reversal. Had you not, if EFTers would not be in this room, psychological reversal would not be a part of my conversation. Well, you don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. If anybody says, well, what about psychological reversal? You say, I don't believe in it. But I do know that there are experiences inside you that help keep you in alignment with what you don't want. Hold on.
Yeah, it's true that to traditional EFTers, this is just a change of wording, not a change of beliefs.
Say it again.
I said it's true that for a traditional EFTer who's sitting in this room, it's simply a change of wording, not a change of actual beliefs.
It is a change of beliefs as well. It's a change of beliefs. Yeah.
It's the term psychological reversal.
We don't use it. We don't believe in it. And we don't believe that your energy can spin backwards either.
No, but that's Roger Callahan.
But he's the guy
not what's taught now.
He's the guy that created it. And by the way, if you go to EFT, what do they say the cause of all problems?
They say it's a disruption in the energy system.
Exactly. Do we say the cause of all problems is a disruption in the energy system? No.
You word it differently, yeah.
It's not a disruption in the energy system. So again, when you go to EFT, especially people who have no experience with NLP, no experience with any of this stuff, they're like fresh babies off the street. They will take this and they will bring it in, and then they will listen to other people who talk about spinning energy backwards and all this stuff. So what we're doing is we're pushing that out the window, and we're going to give a new structure of thinking.
Because in today's EFT, that's already out the window.
Again, let me explain about EFT too. EFT is taught by different people, a lot of different people. Some people who are trained in NLP. They will teach a better EFT than people who have no experience with EFT. NLP. Because, see, I've been traveling all over the world. Different people teach different ways of EFT. There is no, well, they're trying, there's different structures of teaching NLP. EFT, I mean, yeah.
That too,
Yeah.
I'm feeling sort of rather sort of like, what's the point of this discussion? How many EFTs in this room have a problem with what you're saying?
Well, yeah. Okay.
You have a.
Okay.
Yeah. So is there a problem? Is there a problem with people in this room being attached to psychological reversal?
Well, see, here's the explanation. The reason why I bring it in
Okay.
is so we can push it out.
Yeah, but if it's not a problem in the first place, it's not a good idea to introduce a problem because actually people then start.
So here's the point. Here's the point with explaining this. If you don't have EFT understandings, guys, are you going to have EFTers come see you? Are you going to have EFT people exposed to EFT come and see you? And will they be watching videos and learning about psychological reversal? So how are you going to address that if you don't know? You have to understand it. And that's the reason why I even bring it in the table, because whenever I'm doing my stuff, people will ask me, I am psychologically reversed. And I said, what do you mean psychologically reversed? Well, it's like my energy is spinning backwards and I can't get rid of this problem. I said, okay.
The point is just that it makes evidence that we are programmed not to have what we want. You know, this conflict between what we want and the way we behave. That's just a way of explaining things for me.
Right.
So you can talk of reverse energy, but if you do the muscular test, for instance, it shows, it can show.
There is an unconscious that will support that belief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's the point with psychological reversal. Do we believe in psychological reversal and FasterEFT? No. Why? We don't believe in psychological reversal. For one, there is no energy spinning backwards. Secondly, we understand we have problems because why? We're creating them, and inside of us we have what that supports and maintains the problem. Now, reason why people ask me all the time, Robert, you don't use this to get rid of psychological reversal. All right, now this is what we've been taught in EFT. You use this to get rid of psychological reversal. And also I'm looking at this, why do we do it here? We're also aiming to. Even though I have this, whatever you're saying this is. Thank you. So again, that's the reason why people ask me this all the time. How come you don't use karate chop to get rid of psychological reversal? It's because I don't believe in psychological reversal.
Could you not just say, if somebody comes and says that they have psychological reversal, that the energy is flowing the wrong way?
I would not say that.
The body follows the mind anyway. So
Yeah.
you don't have to disagree with them.
Yeah, that's true.
No need to be aggressive if you don't have to.
I am not aggressive.
You can
I think
tap
that's
on that,
projection.
darling.
No, but see, here's the point. Again, you're going to get questions like this. So how do... Hold on. Again.
You said yourself that your system would work with every belief system, so why do we have to disprove them wrong? Why can they not just believe whatever they want to
Are you in
believe?
a training class? Are we in a training class here? Yes, now, if a client...
You also said last time that we're here to learn from each other also.
Exactly, yes. But see, here's the point, guys. See, when a client comes in to see me and they say they were raped at 5 years old, will I say it's not true, it's all made up? Would I tell them that? What would I do if I did that? Do I believe that to be true? Would I say, oh, you're making it up, Andrea, you're a big fat liar, you're not? I would never say that. Nor would I say that you don't have past lives. I would never say that there isn't sin, but I will operate with the client because I know what is going on. Same with psychological reversal. I know there's no such thing. If I believe there is such thing, then I'm going to operate in a way that supports and maintains it. So we have to change our belief system and how we represent things. And I'm telling you, this is a big one. And you obviously can tell. Because, see, there's a lot of emotional juice around this. And so as soon as I find emotional juice around something, I'm going there. Again, because where you find resistance, you found a problem. You've got to change the problem. Well, I'm also clarifying two issues. One of them, psychological reversal, spending the energy. The other one is secondary gains, which is actually, according to the guy who created psychological reversal, is a part of it, but it's also saying that there's energy spinning backward.
I think there's a difference, because I've noticed it once or twice. I know that you're teaching us something, but you have a tendency, the sticking point for me is your insistence that any acceptance or any understanding that I'm actually personally happy with, but you would consider a problem, means that I can't get this or use this in the fullest possible way, because I won't be getting it right if I still believe something I believed before. And that's a problem for a lot of people, not because they have a problem with what they believe, but because you have a problem with that.
So,
There have been a number of times during the course that you appear to have a problem with making this fit with everything else. It is very, very good. I mean, I will be using it. I wholeheartedly support it. But I have an underlying problem that's not something I'm worried about. It's just something that's flagging up for me. But that problem is that the evangelical, you have to do it this way and all other way is wrong, is an element of arrogance that dismisses people that are already doing this. It's not new. What you're doing is not new. You've put together something into a package that makes it deliverable and makes it good for us to be able to learn and understand. But it isn't new, and a lot of the things you were dismissing yesterday about karmic, you don't appear to have an understanding of what those things all really mean, so you just dismiss them. And there are other people that want to learn this, that are not offended, but that are flagging up, this is not quite right, but you, in an NLP, slightly bullying way, say, but that's your problem. Go away and fix that problem. But people don't have a problem with what they believe. They're having a problem with you telling them they have a problem.
that's good. Okay. Peace, peace, peace.
Apart from what I feel is quite aggressive from your side as well, is talking from a normal for a person who doesn't really know anything about this, coming from the outside, and watching the CDs with Gary Craig, and seeing what they were talking about, these psychological reversal, and having allergies. It made me think that I'm never going to get rid of this. There is no way out. And what Robert gives me with this is saying that there is a way out.
But that's nothing to do with what I was saying. The point I was making was about Robert dismissing other things that are healthy for other people to use in their understanding.
I'm not responding to what you were saying anyway, because I didn't actually listen. So I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I close my ears when people tend to come out in aggressive mode. So,
It's okay, guys. Go ahead. It's all good.
but that's what I want to say is that if you have learned it in a certain way, you might feel that there is no hope. And for me, if somebody gives out an open doors, I don't really care how they do it, as long as it gets opened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What? Go ahead.
So I have no idea about EFT before.
Don't worry about that part. Then.
Okay. So I see your point, and I think that what he's doing is he named that FasterEFT, and you're a course of what he wants to teach you. Absolutely. So when he's the teacher, he's saying, and you either have to. I agree that you can disagree with him. I agree that you can not be not be happy the way he presents the information or the way he makes you feel about some things.
But it's not about this stuff here, really.
So I'm thinking that you can go outside and do whatever you want after.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you. Right here.
Yeah, from somebody who hadn't. I mean, psychological reversal is just a word. It represents something,
right.
And I'd never understand the concept. I believe. But I'd never heard of the word before I started this, so it's good that I understand it. Well, to an extent. But the way I see it, that Robert maybe to some, coming over a bit aggressive, but I think from my perspective, what he's trying to do is make sure that we don't bring it in with FasterEFT, because I can see from other people's perspective, they might go away and think, this is great, I'll just add it in, because I believe in it, and then it will be maybe less effective. And I think Robert's just trying to say, just leave it out, even if you believe in it. If you want to do traditional EFT with someone, bring it back in. But if you're doing FasterEFT, leave it out. Exactly. That's the way I see it.
That's exactly. Let me explain to you too. Right. Well, first of all, when I'm going here with belief systems, right here, because we are talking about other belief systems. Each one of these belief systems are absolutely true for those who believe. With FasterEFT, we do not bring these into our session. These become, for example, I was raised up Christian. So if I'm a FasterEFT person and I'm not going to stay with what I'm teaching, I will bring in that you have sin. I will bring it in the session, and this is my belief system, and let's say you're not a Christian. And I'm going to operate from this system. I'm going to try to indoctrinate you and operate within my belief system. I agree with you, it's prejudice. But again, there are many different levels of Christianity. Yours could be different than mine. How many different Christianity groups are there? Oh, hold on. I understand. We're talking about FasterEFT. But see, is yours any better than past life experiences? Because everybody brings these into the session. All right, let's drop it. But you understand where I'm coming from? All right, you understand? All right. No justification. But you understand where I'm coming from. Each one of these is absolutely true. With FasterEFT, we leave these at home. You don't bring them into the session. It's neutral. Peace. Good job. All right, we're going to go on to the next one. Oh, we don't want to research. No, not right now. We're going to the next one. We're going to the next one. We'll just go to the next one. Everybody, let's do a little tapping session. Take a deep breath. Close your eyes. This is good fun. Good, good, good. Feel whatever anxiety, any stress that you feel. Got it? Tap between your eyes. I release and let it go. Side your eye, it's safe to let it go. Under the eye, it's all good. Collarbone, it's safe to let it go. I'm okay as I let this go. Deep breath. Peace, peace, peace. All right, think of something peaceful. Go to a happy memory. See what you saw, hear what you heard. Feel that good feeling inside. Ooh. Deep breath. Blow it out. Peace. All right. Any more anxiety? Notice any anxiety in your body? Check in. Let it go. Let it go. Safe, let it go. Let it all go. Deep breath. Peace, peace, peace. Oh, very good. I feel good. Let's go to the next one. Where are we going? We talk about psychological reversal, right? Not yet? We didn't get to it? All right, so you understand, I just read what Callahan, who created psychological reversal, what it means, right? According to him. Now, he's the guy who created it since he created it. Now, again, what the EFTers have brought in is what is called secondary gains. Now, the reason why we push the psychological reversal out the window is because we're moving into how we create our problems, which means you're moving into the mind and away from the energy in the body. You can address the body, and metaphorically, it can change the mind. But oftentimes, when you start working with the feelings in the body, it leads where? To the mind. So what we're doing with the art of change, we'll bypass all that, and we do the structure. We start changing the structure, the physical body change, the emotional body change, and everything shifts and changes. So why do we not believe in psychological reversal? I am on my test and teaching. I am. So why do we not believe in psychological reversal? Because we're moving into the imprinted memories and experiences. And that's where we're going. Peace.